So I got to ask, you played on great teams. Did you ever play on a terrible team? A bad team?
Yes.
What was
yes.
your bad?
I mean, I was on a 3-13 Detroit Lions team.
Okay, so
but I had a lot of fun. But the worst team I was on was a 4-12 Carolina Panther team.
Okay, so you're on a bad team and you were on great teams. Is it possible sometimes great teams are harder to coach?
Yes, because on a bad team, on a bad team, guys are listening. They are trying to figure it out, and a lot of times they'll get off into their heads and they move on. I saw that. I saw guys just move on, and they weren't really focused on the season and getting the job done. They were shutting it down, getting the U-Haul trucks. On a good team, a consistently good team, when you're talking about the championship-type caliber teams that are in it every year, it's difficult to coach them. Even I know you guys are talking about the Warriors a second ago. It's difficult coaching a team like that, I think, because the guys understand how to play the game. And they are so locked in. And it's not – I heard you talking about the egos. It's not an ego thing. It's that you get a lot of perfectionists out there. You get a lot of guys putting a lot of pressure on one another. That pressure is also put on the coach. Make certain that you're putting me in the right position to do certain things. You get to that level when you start to have players that understand exactly what the coach wants done, and those players become an extension of him. So now they can even question some of the things that the coaching staff is doing. Why are you not doing this? Why would we possibly want to do things? I remember times at practice as a young player, Ronnie Lott everyone would be moving around and Ronnie would just be standing still. He'd just be standing. And coaches would, George Seifert would, what's going on? Or Ray Rhodes, one of the defense coordinators, and McPherson, they said, Ronnie, what's the problem? And he just stand there. He's like, this won't work. And I'm like, no, let's run the call. He was like, it won't work. And he'd start barking off like, well, if this happens and the tight end does this and this formation, these things happen, we would never do this. I would switch the call to this. So why are we practicing it? It's a waste of time. That's what I'm saying. It becomes difficult when the guys start to understand what needs to be done.
This is one of the things Jason Whitlock has said about Seattle. They've been so good for so long. They're rich. They're smart. It's a bunch of really good dudes. But they're like now, and this is our franchise. So those guys, for Pete, Richard Sherman's great, but he could be harder to coach than a rookie corner that doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Well, yes, because he's been in that defense for the same that's how it was. When I was with the Niners, I was in the same defense so long. We understood everything that was supposed to be done, so much so like in training camp, the coaches would come in and tell the old heads, like, don't even go to the meetings. You guys go have a beer or do something. You don't need to be here. So Richard Sherman's in that defense. They haven't changed anything. He understands what's supposed to happen. He's seen it play at a certain level, and he understands when that level is not being reached.
Yeah.
Okay? So he's going to start barking.
Yeah. No, so Jameis Winston, I said, he's Eli Manning to me. I've been watching Eli for 12 years. I still don't know if he's good. He's had great moments, had great games.
Yeah.
And I watch Jameis, I'm like, I see Derek Carr and I see magic. I see Dak, I see leadership. I see Mariota and I see athletic ability. I see Wentz and I see a wizard. I see Goff and I see Montana a touch. I look at Jameis and I'm like, I see Eli.
Whoa. Well, you said you see Goff and you see Montana?
I see his touch. He's got that Joe touch.
Stop it.
Okay, I'm a little, but I'm saying I see touch.
Stop it. Okay, I'm going to let you continue, but I had to stop you on that one. You got to please pump your brakes on that one.
Okay. Well, is Jameis good? 59. Night? What was that?
Yes, Jameis is a good quarterback. Jameis is a young quarterback. We forget how young some of these players are because, they come out, you're the first pick of the draft, they throw you out there. He's still learning and developing, and he's being asked to do things that Brady wasn't asked to do this early in his career. Remember, Brady came on, and that was a defensive team.
Oh, he was a manager.
Yes.
First 2 years.
And Winston is being asked to carry it with his right arm. So he's a young player. And I really think that was a case of him going out last night.
Biggest game of his career.
Yes.
Laid an egg.
Yes, he was out there, and and he saw this other guy across the field, and like, okay, I have to beat this guy. I have to compete against this guy instead of running the offense. And he still had a chance at the end.
So I'm watching the Patriots, and I started my show today, and in fact, I'll read this to you. I said, all right, here we go. So I'm going to play this game with you. I said, great owner, great coach, several championships, great system, at times methodical, one great player, starting to really show their age. That's the Spurs. You thought I was talking Patriots? The minute Tony Parker and Duncan moved out of their prime, Pop squeezed one more out of them. Who's the second best New England player? Gronk's never there. Edelman's hurt. Traded away Chandler Jones. Like, I look at this team and I see the Spurs. Can Belichick squeeze? Can his Boris Diaw? Can his Chris Hogan? Can his Patrick Chung play above their... But I look at New England, Eric. I just don't see I don't see the speed. I don't see the athleticism. I don't see the pass rush. I just don't see it.
No, I see where you're going, and I agree. We had this discussion before the season started that it was going to be a little tough because the offense was going to have to try some different things without Edelman being there. I thought that was going to be an issue, and it has been in some aspects. Brady's getting hit more because he's having to push the ball down the field more because his security blanket's not there.
That's right.
That's a part of it.
That's a very good point. That's a big part of it.
So
he's throwing deep routes now.
He's throwing the ball deeper because the guy that he trusts to win all those underneath one-on-one matchups isn't there. He's not there. And so much so Brady, and I tweeted last night that he's bad early in games now. Brady last week, and he got away with it, was he's throwing balls high and behind guys. When have you seen Brady not be accurate? When does that happen? And he's not accurate right now, which is weird to me. But can they squeeze one more out? Yes, just like Pop was able to squeeze one more out because of the coaching staff. You have some really good coaches that understand how to scheme and play the chess match and put guys in position to do what they are capable of doing. And Belichick can do that. Maybe
last year was the squeezing one out.
Yeah, it may have been.
I think last year may have been the 2014 Spurs.
Yeah, that may have been the last one. But because Brady is who he is, he will still give them a chance as long as he's up right now. If he keeps getting hit like that, it's 2 weeks in a row I've seen him get hit, and I've seen a look in his face where he wasn't happy. So it's interesting.
All right, Eric Davis, Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champ, Niner, and a couple bad teams briefly. Okay, so let's go to the Cam thing. So so I'm gonna play. Do we have the Cam? So this is a press conference. So this is the press conference thing. And Eric Dickerson was on earlier today, and Eric's like, actually, I thought he gave a great answer to it, like an incredible answer, which was actually. Eric Dickerson said, I thought that was actually kind of respectful, although people didn't like the way he answered it. So let's just play the press conference with Cam, and I'm going to have you react to that. So here's the presser.
Cam, I know you take a lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like,
how's that land?
It's funny, but fun is coming along, man. We're gonna. This is a big game for him because of him being from Detroit.
So he starts to answer the question.
Yes, he starts to answer the question. But the comment is what started all.
You didn't like it.
It started the fire. Well, it's just one of those things. When I first heard it, I knew it was going to be an issue because it's just a sexist comment. I guarantee you. I can tell you this. I know my wife knows more football because she sat with me and watched while I was at home watching film and doing all these things and now all the games. I know she knows more football than a lot of guys I played with. No lie.
Well, I don't doubt it at all.
I mean fronts and schemes and blocking systems and secondary coverages and all this because she would sit there with me and
hey,
just talk about it.
My wife's a designer. You'd be shocked how much I know about design because I've been around my wife now for 11 years.
Yes, of course.
I mean, that's her. My wife's expertise is that, so I hang with her, and I know it. And your wife hangs with an NFL player and knows it.
It's not about and that's great, and there are a lot of women, but this is her job. It's not like it's
right.
just
No,
wife.
Understood. So
she's paid to know football. So
right.
To think that it's crazy that she knows her job.
No, but I was saying,
that she
women
knows her
in
job.
our society play baseball, basketball. They don't play football. So there are guys that are jerks and think, well, they could never know because it's the sport of all of them.
Right.
That women don't play. So there are guys who I think have this built in.
Well,
you
can I
didn't
say this?
play the game.
Well, can I say this? But also there are guys that think that male reporters, Kristine, that they don't know football.
True.
So it's not because
Most of us.
So
But you would never hear an
Just-
athlete say, "Oh, it's funny to hear a man talk about football."
Yeah.
No, but you will hear them say that. And I remember one guy. There was a particular reporter, and now understand. I don't know the relationship that these two had. And there was a particular reporter that wrote something about me when I was playing with the Carolina Panthers. His name Pat. I can't think of his last name, but he wrote something and talking about how I should feel in the moment and all these things. And I remember saying, I don't know which one of you is Pat. And at my locker, I don't know which one of you is Pat, but I'm sitting here with guys who've never had jock itch in your life, and you're going to try to tell me what it's like to be out here on this field. I was like, shut up, stop it. You have no idea what you're talking about.
No, guys are jerks. Players are
what's
jerks.
your point? I wanna hear your point.
My point is, this person came up. My point is, and I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what it's like, and this is how it was. And he came up to me afterwards and said, you know what, I'm Pat. This is what I wrote. This is what I thought. Why would you say something like that? And he and I had a conversation about it. So so my point is, just because. So my point is, it's not simply a female that guys and some athletes may feel that way about. You feel that way about males as well. Doesn't change the fact that what he said was wrong. I think what he said was wrong,
Yeah.
and now he made his apology. All you can do is hope that his apology is sincere and move on from there. I really do. It's one of those things. You can forgive him or not. I'm not going to condemn him for it. It was a bad thing, and he said he learned. What if he's learned? Let's hope so. To me, this is Riley Cooper. Okay. Remember, Riley Cooper made his comments.
Right.
Philly put him out there on the wall by himself until Macklin got hurt. Then they needed him. Then all of a sudden, we're going to rehab this guy. He made his apologies. And now, do we even discuss Riley Cooper? Because you either forgive him or you don't. You hope that he's learned from it, and then you move on.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for watching. We want you to subscribe here, to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the herd, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.